नमस्कार, सलाम, याली मदद, सत श्री अकाल, गुड मॉर्निंग टू कैलगरी। आप सबका स्वागत है हमारे प्रोग्राम आपकी आवाज़ में। आप ये प्रोग्राम सुनते हैं हमारे अपने रेडियो चैनल सुर संगम पर और देखते हैं हमारे अपने टीवी चैनल पंजाबी नेशनल पर। मैं आपका होस्ट, आपका दोस्त अमृत, एक बार फिर से आपका स्वागत करता हूँ और आशा करता हूँ कि आपको हमारे प्रोग्राम बहुत पसंद आते होंगे और जितना प्यार और जितनी मोहब्बत आपने इतने सालों में हमें दी है, उसे आप बरकरार रखेंगे। आज सुबह हम आपके साथ इसलिए जुड़ रहे हैं क्योंकि कुछ नए अपडेट्स आए हैं वैक्सीनेशन को लेकर और कुछ और अपडेट्स जो कि हमारे को बहुत अफेक्ट करते हैं, उसके बारे में हम लोग थोड़ी देर बातचीत करेंगे। और आज इस बातचीत में हमारे साथ शामिल हैं ऑनरेबल मिनिस्टर मिस लीला अहीर, जो कि मिनिस्टर हैं कल्चर, मल्टीकल्चरिज्म एंड स्टेटस ऑफ वुमेन की। आइए मिलकर स्वागत करें हमारी अपनी लीला अहीर जी का। मैम, बहुत बहुत स्वागत हमारे प्रोग्राम में।
Thank you so much, Amriti. It's so wonderful to see you and hear you. And thank you so much for this beautiful service that you give to our wonderful communities.
We are trying our best, and I'm very sure that God up there is watching us. And if we maintain our side of the story and be a little bit careful and sensitive and you know, feel for other, respect other people, I think we will win in this war of COVID for sure.
Beautiful words. Thank you so much.
So to start with, first of all, you look gorgeous as always.
Oh my goodness, you're so sweet. Oh, that's a very nice thing to say so early in the morning. Sending you extra hugs and kisses.
So now the thing is, there has been a very important information which came up in the morning, and as we are giving the Calgarians an update about the present situation, so could you please put some light on the news in the morning that medicine has been approved for people who are 40 and above, please kindly.
Yeah, of course, Amrit, and thank you so much. So yeah, sort of hot off the presses here. The walk-in clinics in Edmonton and Calgary have
Hmm.
now reduced the age to age 40 for the AstraZeneca vaccine, which is amazing because that's going to give us like well over the 2 million person mark to be able to be vaccinated, which
Right,
makes such a huge difference because honestly, Faji, this is our ticket out, right?
right.
And so if I could please encourage everyone to get out there and get vaccinated as quick as possible, it means so that right now, that means immediately that increases our ability to vaccinate another almost 600,000 people. So,
Absolutely.
which is just beautiful. And, you know, what makes that particularly wonderful is that what the AstraZeneca does and all of vaccines is that you reduce your the ability to be able to get it, but also to be hospitalized in terms of COVID. So very very important. It's a huge step forward for us. It means we've already had just a phenomenal rollout to the vaccine as well already, but please please sir, if you can help to encourage our communities to get out there as soon as possible and get their bookings for the AstraZeneca. And, thank you so much to Dr. Dina Hinshaw, who just works all the time, every single second to try and help us understand the efficacy of these vaccinations. We're very, very grateful to her and for the work that that AHS is doing to get us back to our life. And hopefully the next time we'll both be vaccinated, we can do this in person.
No,
Wouldn't that be
absolutely.
nice?
Absolutely, and I still cherish the moment when you were there
Oh,
last
yeah.
year with us, in our studios, and things were looking great at that time. But somehow now we have to maintain, and I think it's a matter of few days where we can just maintain that social distancing, and we can just be careful and take all the precautions, and I think all will be fine soon.
Yes, and Paji, if you think about who we are in this province, the people that make up this province, we are a beautiful, loving people.
Right.
And it comes to us naturally to take care of each other. And this is just one of those steps, right? We've been wearing masks, we've been keeping our distance. You know me, I'm a hugger. It's been horrible not being able to hug people. I can't wait. So I'm ready to get jabbed as soon as I can. Give me the shot, you know?
That kind of gesture brings you near to everyone. It's when you hug somebody, you're giving your love, your blessings, and all kind of best wishes goes with one hug. And that is amazing, and that is missing for sure, and soon we will be back.
I can't wait.
So the second question, or I can say I wanted to ask you, was like COVID-19 update for the province. Like
Sure.
like what is the number of cases, and vaccinations are rolled out, and how many cases we have in hospital right now?
You bet. So this is as of April 17th, Pradi. So it's a little bit behind. It's lagging. So we'll have some new numbers rolling out today. But just to update you to the best of my ability. So we're at about 171,000 total cases over like since we started tracking cases. So
Mm,
we had a new case amount of 1,516 on April 17th.
mhm,
We have 17,953 active cases and 451 in hospital. The one that we're really watching closely is obviously the intensive care. We're at 103 cases of intensive care. So, but with all that being said, and let's hope and pray that those who are in the hospital are healing and coming through this, and that they will come through this okay and healthy. But one thing I just wanted to point out, and doesn't get pointed out enough, is that out of that 171,000 cases, total cases throughout the province, did you know that we had over 150,000 recovered? Isn't that amazing? That's how many people have had it and have come out of it. And we never talk enough about the recovery and about the resilience of people, even given the circumstances. And that was before there was a vaccine or any of this. So I think it's really important to know that. And Alberta is almost 4 million total tests completed. It tells you, the province has done a phenomenal job of testing. We're testing on average more than other provinces, which is, it's a double-edged sword because you have really, really strong numbers. You know exactly where you are, but it also gives us a really good understanding of sort of where the spread is in the province and how best to help out. So I don't know about you, but the more people that we have tested, the tests completed, the more people that we know about, the more that you are armed with the information, the better decisions that you make.
I totally agree with you. And ma'am, what I feel that it's very easy to say about the negative things. It's very
Always.
easy to talk about that this is not happening, that is not happening. But
Mm-hmm.
let's also see that what is happening. Let's also see the positive side of it. It is very phenomenal rate where people got sick, but we are also recovering. So
We
let's
are.
let's give the kudos, or let's give appreciation to all those doctors, nurses, and all the frontline workers who are there with us, and working round the clock to help us to get out of this situation. We are it's all teamwork. Unless we have a good team, and the team starts from, I think, the bottom level, right? We have to thank from bottom to all the up people there who are helping us to come out of this situation.
Absolutely. And I was talking to a friend of mine who's a nurse just a couple of days ago. So she's been doing work in the hospital, so trying to trying to keep surgeries moving throughout this. You can imagine how difficult other care is, right? It's not just about COVID. We have cancer care, we have surgeries, we have senior citizens who are and people who are waiting for hip and knee surgeries. These are things about quality of life. And she was saying, she's working in surgeries, but then she gets called into a clinic, and then she's also being trained as an immunizer. So she's working around the clock and picking up extra shifts all over the place. She's a real rock star. And on that note, actually, I probably didn't share these numbers with you. Did you know that almost 1.2 million doses of vaccination have already gone out the door? That's the first doses, and we're almost at 230,000 double, like of the second doses as well too. So that's
Wow,
wonderful. But we
that's
really,
amazing.
really need to get people to get out there. It's
Out there.
40 and up now, so even I can go now.
No, absolutely, absolutely. And we are thankful to the government, which are working round the clock in helping us out to get out as soon as possible and enjoy the summers. It's been a while where people have really gone out, and enjoy it as family and enjoy it with friends. So I hope this process will help a lot of people to go out now.
Yes, and we have the rapid clinics as well too, Paji, in Calgary and Edmonton. So they can do 300,000 doses a week. They can do about 7,000 a day, and we're only getting 1,000 people in there. So let's get to work and get vaccinated.
Absolutely. And I heard about a clinic which has been set up at the Telus Convention Center,
Hmm.
and you also get 90 minutes of parking free. Just go over there, book yourself, and park your vehicle, and don't worry about paying the fee over there. Just get yourself vaccinated. Just follow the rules and regulations which are meant in the parkade, and get yourself vaccinated as soon as possible.
Absolutely.
Now, let's talk about a little bit of those people who are self-employed, and what kind of there was an announcement made for helping the small businesses in Alberta. Can you put a little bit light on that, ma'am?
Yeah, so it's been a rough go, hasn't it? And
Yes.
many folks in our culture, in particular, are small business owners. They're the fabric, the heartbeat of our communities, and it's been really tough, especially with going back to phase one and the capacity issues and all of that. So we wanted to make sure that there was another round of grants as we ramp up the vaccinations. We're hoping that we'll be able to get back to life here, obviously. But because a lot of those businesses would have really been impacted by going back to phase one, we just wanted to make sure. And if it's okay, Podgy, do you mind if I'll give you sort of the criteria, just so
Please,
you
please.
will
Yes,
help?
yeah,
Okay,
for sure.
sure. So the businesses that were in operation between March 1st of 2020 and January 31st of this year of 2021. So you can qualify for another $10,000. And this includes businesses that have qualified for previous grants as well too, if they've been affected by those most recent round of public health orders. And the program actually exists it's extended as well to hotels and taxis and ride shares. And this is something we had heard about from that sector in particular. So I'm really happy to see that be
Hmm.
part of this.
Right.
And then, and just so you know, from last year to this year, there's been 97,000 businesses that applied for the previous grant. So there's about 600 million in funding has already gone out to businesses, but it goes to show you how really vibrant the small business sector is in this province. And we're just going to do what we can to help in the meantime. So hopefully that's really helpful. And if you need any other information, you just let our office know and we'll be happy to get that to you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think the small business in Alberta plays a very big role, or anywhere
Mm-hmm.
plays a very big role for the economy. And if they are able to sustain, that is the biggest win
Yeah.
we will have in this COVID times.
And Paji, a lot of the small businesses in Alberta are women. They're women-run businesses. They're
Absolutely.
incredibly niche-oriented. They've managed to survive during COVID, and congratulations to those strong women. And so we just really want to make sure. I mean, everybody obviously can be impacted positively from this help, but it's these businesses have been impacted through no fault of their own. And it's really it's that powerful ability to be able to know that you can keep your head above water just a little while longer. And we're a resilient bunch. We just need a little bit of help to get from point A to point B.
Absolutely. Now, there is a way where your, you know, ministry help and recognize, people who do volunteer work. And there's
Mm-hmm.
a National Volunteer Week, and there is a
Yay.
Stars of Alberta Volunteer Awards. Can you tell something about that? How we can nominate someone, or how people can be recognized in those categories or in those two
Oh
nominations?
yeah. Oh my goodness. So this just makes my heart happy. We're the volunteer week takes place between April 18th and the 24th. And I mean we celebrate our volunteers all the time, but this is like a really amazing time. And especially given the last year, Paji, our volunteers have just been I have a very difficult time explaining how I've been impacted seeing the generosity, incredible generosity of our people across this province throughout COVID, especially.
Right.
Alberta is known for just being able to rally around in times of crisis, but this has been going on and on. And as our volunteers are a large part of them are senior citizens, and
Right.
they became a vulnerable population once COVID first kicked in. And so we started a program called the Alberta Cares Connector. And what it did is that it connected people to their areas and places that they could volunteer safely and, with all of the protocols and all that kind of stuff to be able to help out to fill the gap. And we
Right.
had millions of hits. We had thousands of people connected. And so you can imagine the level of volunteerism that we have in this province right now. So being able to do this week nationally is spectacular. In our province in particular, the philanthropic heart, the giving heart, is just above and beyond. And the volunteers play an active role in our ability to recover. And volunteers, you've done this yourself. This is about you give back to your community for no other
Community. Right.
reason other than to
Absolutely.
build. Right? It's
Absolutely.
just you're just there as a part of the team, and you work on building community centers or putting in ice rinks or helping out with senior citizens or whatever it is. And you are all everyday heroes for the work that you do. I think that, a week is probably, a small amount of time to recognize, but at the same time, absolutely imperative. And I just want to thank Albertans, our neighbors, the people who love their communities. They just bleed their communities. I want to thank them for their heroism throughout this last year, their simple acts of kindness. I hope that they understand the lasting difference that it makes to a neighbor, especially when they're isolated or they're scared or anything like that, to see the life-changing work that happens in these communities. And we're providing some extra dollars this year for Volunteer Alberta to support in the celebration activities. So that way these organizations can really highlight what's going
Right.
on, especially this year. And you probably know this, the Northern Lights Award is something that we started off at the beginning. It was ironic. It was something that we had planned to do, but it's ironic that it started off really strongly at the beginning of COVID. And we've been able to highlight, tons and tons of volunteers and organizations across the province. And we've been able to, do team projects, and it's just been amazing. And then, we have 26,400 nonprofits in this province, 1.6
Wow.
million volunteers. I know, like you think about, we're 4.3 million people. 1.6 million of us are volunteers.
Volunteers.
Yeah.
That is the best part, which I learned in Canada when I came as an immigrant, that the act of volunteerism, or to help people, here it is taught right from the childhood. They tell you to help others, they tell you to give volunteer work, and it is recognized thing when you go to college, or when everybody
Hmm.
is looking for a person to, like, they're hiring. They always see how much time you have given as a volunteer to the public, right? And
Yeah.
it's an amazing thing. Like, I've not seen this in any other place or any other country where volunteer being a volunteer is recognized in such a big way.
It is. I can only speak for, in my family in particular. My husband and my sons are both part of the food bank, and then my oldest is the president of the Rotary out here. So he's constantly out there. And because, the Rotary guys, they got this young guy. They have him running around from pillar to post. It's fantastic. And he's able to give back so much to the community. But you'd ask me about the Stars of Alberta also, Podgy. I'll fill you
Right,
in a
please.
little bit
Yes.
on that one too. So our nominations, you can nominate if you just go into alberta.ca under the Stars
Alberta.ca.
of Alberta. These
Hmm.
are really, really phenomenal volunteers that have gone above and beyond.
Hmm.
And there's three categories. There's the youth, and then the adult and the seniors category for really, really substantial amount of work. Volunteers, honestly, Podgy, when I met the young people that did the Stars of Alberta last year, I
Hmm.
was truly blown away. I don't know if I could accomplish what they have in their young lives already.
Hmm.
They're
Right.
just amazing. And so we have, when you nominate these people, it's about recognizing those exceptional volunteers. Not that they're not all exceptional, but this is particularly really, really exceptional work, and especially connecting their communities in inclusion and diversity. So we also started three new categories, which are the breaking barriers categories, and that is anti-racism, gender equality, and then the LGBTQ2S plus. So folks
Okay.
that are doing particularly excellent work in that, there's some extra categories for that as well too. And Podgy, if I could please, you are so inspiring with the work that you do. We all know the volunteer work that you came from and how you got to this point. Please reach out into our communities. We really want to make sure that these volunteer awards are going into our communities as well too, and into the Southeast Asian, because a lot of time they don't know about these
Yes, of course.
opportunities. And to your point, for the youth to be able to receive awards or even get nominated for
Yes.
something like this, it's a game changer for them in their future.
See, the thing is, it's nothing about what you gain or what you lose, but here it
Mm-hmm.
is an opportunity to bring the names of the people who've been, helping out for the community. When we used to, like now it's second year that we have not organized any kind of cultural event for our foundation also. But when we were doing it, we had tons and tons of volunteers from Center of Newcomers or other places. They would come to us, and they will help to organize our sports day or talents competition which we were doing for the seniors. And it was an amazing feeling that how well these people are connected with us. We get tons of emails and messages that when we are starting again, we would love to come and help
Wonderful.
you out. And they have been with us since we started. Like every year they look for this particular event to come and help us out.
Well,
And
and if you think about the youth, when they come and volunteer with you, Podgy,
of
you can
course,
write them a reference letter, and that is a
we
game
do. That's
changer
what
for
we
them.
do.
Yeah,
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 that's what we do. That's amazing. That's amazing.
yeah.
Now you have heard that how they are helping, how the government is helping, how Miss Leela and her ministry is helping all the volunteers to be recognized. It's a big step, and we should come forward. We should recognize, we get registered over there. And again, it is a big way of reaching out to all the people who are doing such an amazing work as a volunteer. Please help us, and as well as Miss Leela, to get more and more people to get recognized over here. Now, the last part which I would like to put light on is Freedom of Care Act Bill 58.
Hmm.
Can you put some light on that? Like how will it support volunteers in province? How it will protect volunteers, and how will it help Albertans in a time of crisis?
Yeah, thank you, Patty. So this bill is actually being debated in the legislature right now. And the bill was brought forward because in Alberta, there's already exemptions for volunteers. So various ministries have exemptions that apply for various things. However, one of the things we realized when we surveyed our volunteer sector is that there's some huge gaps. Some of it is already in existence. And so the bill itself will help to shine light on those. But there's also gaps with respect to crisis, right? I mean, God willing, we're not in a COVID crisis every year, but there's things like floods and fires and all sorts of things that Albertans rally behind in order to help each other out. And what we found is that during a crisis, it's very, very difficult to get information up the flagpole in the legislature to help organizations get exemptions so that they can help out. For example, giving out sandwiches or helping with volunteers. So this opportunity for us will help to provide exemptions for organizations to do social good, especially in a crisis. So it's a one-time exemption. It's not something that would last forever. But if there's an
Right.
organization that needs to be on the front lines to do social good, we can help them out because in the legislature, it can take anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks to get something done, obviously, because
Absolutely.
it needs to be vetted and all of those important things. We're not trying to bypass that. But in the middle of a crisis like that, this is really important. And so the one wonderful thing about this is that we're going to have to report with the data about how this is. So it'll give us some information on the gaps. We're hoping if the legislation passes too, it'll give us the opportunity to have a central website
Right.
to be able to collect all of that information to help people get these exemptions because it's really important. And so we're hoping that that will launch in September. But in the meantime, if anybody is looking if they need help in order to help do social good, they can phone 310-0000. And then you were asking about the protection of the volunteers. So that is a
Yes.
limited liability for
Hmm.
volunteers if they're going into a situation to help them out because our volunteers need to make sure that they're also protected while they're there. And a lot of times they have protection under the organization, which is fine.
Right.
But there are times when you're reaching out with your volunteers to help out with other things. And this way they're protected. And it's just for small things like accidents. It's not if driving or if they come with alcohol or drugs and they do something wrong under that, they would still be liable under those situations. But if some boxes fall accidentally or something, or you're helping somebody and something happens by accident, it's not done on purpose, you know. It
Right.
just gives those volunteers that liability protection, and it's an amazing opportunity where Nova Scotia has similar legislation to this, and that's sort of where we pulled some of the ideas from there because we wanted to make sure, especially going forward after this, especially after seeing what our volunteers have done, that they have that added protection, because we want to keep that 1.6 million. That's awesome. Let's just keep growing it. And this will give them an opportunity to do that, right?
Absolutely. So today, tons of information what we get, and today, and it's a good start for us this week that 40 and above now can go for the vaccination, and the booking will start, I think, today or tomorrow. But be ready and get that shot, and I hope the things will be normal pretty soon. Let's do our part, be safe, and be kind of humble and be helpful to each other. Take all the precautions you can. Still there are cases out here, and especially the variants are, and if you will agree with me, ma'am, that the variants are more kind of dangerous, and it spreads pretty fast. So let's keep doing our part, and I hope and pray for all the frontline staff in the hospital or anywhere they are, that they are for us. And thank you so much, ma'am, for enlightening us with the new policies and the things which are happening in province. And I hope we will connect soon, and we will get more updates from you like this for the people of Calgary and Alberta from you in coming times. Before we end today's program, what would you like to say to all the Calgarians who are watching you and listening to you, please?
Well, I want to first thank you, Amrit, for this beautiful service that you provide, bringing us a little bit of home here and us to there. That connection means more to us than you probably even know. The fact that you're able to provide this in languages of origin, in Punjabi in particular, to make sure that our families are safe means more to me than I can express to you. And the fact that you give me this privilege to be with you, to spend some time, I have no words. It's very, and I am always available to talk about anything. And you're right, the AstraZeneca is on April 20th is when that opens. So
Okay.
if I could please just encourage everyone to take care of each other and to stay safe, wear your masks, keep your distance. We'll be hugging soon, I promise. And go get the jab as quickly as
That's
possible, and
possible.
then we will meet sooner than later.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, ma'am, for connecting with us, and we will be with you again
Pleasure.
pretty soon.
Thank you so much, Amrit Taji. Take care.
You too. Bye. तो ये थे ऑनरेबल मिनिस्टर मिस लीला हियर, मिनिस्टर फॉर कल्चर, मल्टीकल्चरिज्म एंड स्टेटस ऑफ वुमेन। अगर आप मेरे को फेसबुक लाइव पे देख रहे हैं, मेरे पेज पे, तो मैं आपको यही रिकमेंड करूंगा कि आप रेडियो सुर संगम के फेसबुक पेज पे जाएं, और वहां पर आप हमारी कन्वर्सेशन सुन सकेंगे। एक्चुअली एक एक्सपेरिमेंट किया था मैंने, लेकिन आई बिलीव कि दूसरी आवाज़ वहां तक नहीं पहुंच पा रही है। लेकिन प्लीज़ आप रेडियो सुर संगम के फेसबुक पेज पे जाएं, और वहां पर आप हमें वहां पे कनेक्ट हों, तो आप हम दोनों की बातें, जो हमारा गेस्ट हैं और मेरी बात, आप सुन सकेंगे। मैं आपसे विदा लेता हूँ। अब आशा करता हूँ कि आज का प्रोग्राम आपको पसंद आया होगा, और ऐसे ही हम और लोगों से, जो कि हमारे गवर्नमेंट के नुमाइंदे हैं, उनसे बातचीत करके आपको नए-नए अपडेट्स देते रहेंगे। थोड़ी देर में मैं जुड़ूँगा मुंबई के एक प्रसिद्ध कलाकार से, जो कि हमें अपनी लाइफ के बारे में बताएँगे। तो मिलते हैं थोड़ी देर के बाद। तब तक के लिए अपना ध्यान रखें। थैंक यू।